Hello everyone, I am Tessellating Hexagons, and I know I said no more distractions, we're gonna go and, take on the sandcastle. I forgot there is one very worthwhile thing that, the trigger that opens this up, apparently, is defeating the Dune Scorpion, which we did in the last episode, so, yeah. There's someone who lost an item, and we need to go and find it, and that's the extent of that. Now, we could go and, locate the person that we need to hand it over to, but let's just go and find the item. As you may be able to infer, it doesn't take us that far out of our way. We just need to head back to this giant pumpkin, aka the Golden Sunset Inn. And if we look over here, you can see there is an item poking out, and it is $1, Marthiva. Really? Yes, really. So, let's just take that to the quote-unquote discreet place in Defiant Route and get our reward. Admittedly, I'm not 100% sure offhand where the discreet place in question is, but I want to say it's back here somewhere. You just need to find someone who looks shady and hand it over to them, and yep, sure enough, there you are. Ah, you. Nothing. Have you found the thing? Yes, we've found toadstools, question mark, question mark, question mark. Yes, thanks, here's your reward. A heartberry. This is why I say it's worthwhile. It's 1 HP, but it's never happened. I'll be going now. Don't trip on the way to that concert. And they have nothing further to say to us. Now, before I forget that I am a world before I am a man, you over there, we have a quest from that person, and we do have the means of completing it right now. I'm going to hold off on that until a little bit later for reasons you'll yet come to experience. Now then, I'm going to give this to Leaf again, because I like the idea of them having nice, even numbers, and my reasoning remains the same as the last time that I gave a heartberry to Leaf. Anyway, that's all my business belt with, so see you at the castle. Okay, at last, this time for real, we are back at the sandcastle. I think, yeah, we can no longer go back towards its behind, but we can go towards its inside. So let's make a start on the meat and potatoes of Chapter 4, shall we? Oh, can't go any further. Oh well. Can we jump out the window? No, the actual puzzle here is fairly obvious, just, V, would you be so kind? Welcome to the gimmick of this place.
What is this sorcery?
Ice magic. Thought you'd seen it before.
It's not the same. Ice magic is your thing.
True. Could this place be related to us?
Only one way to find out. Time to explore.
Let's be careful, please. We've let our guard down too many times during this mission.
We'll keep our eyes open. So yep, welcome to the gimmick of this dungeon. It's a fire and ice thing, except the fire is sand. So here's our first enemy here. It's a cute little thing, and it's the first of a series of enemies that has multiple forms depending on the temperature, which is a fun little gimmick, but yes, a corolla with a K.
What a fascinating creature. It reminds me of the factory's Menderbots. It changes behavior depending on the temperature.
It has a sand form and an ice form, a ground type and an ice type, if you will.
Its ice version is weak to my horn. Teehee. We must make sure to take note of which attacks are causing more damage.
So yes. Now, if you're getting them for spy cards, I believe it doesn't matter which form you, tattle, spy. If you spy this, you've got the ice version as well. It's all one card, as the on-screen graphic sort of suggested there. So, as is true of Pokemon, the ground type is weak to ice magic because of that thing where hi. Also, the ground ones can paralyze, so there's that to consider. But yes, you know that whole thing of when water gets into the ground and then it freezes and expands and it damages the ground? Yeah, that's why ice magic is good on the sand-flavored ones, and the ice ones are weak to concussive attacks like Kabu's Horn. So bear that in mind going forwards. There's elemental shenanigans to keep in mind. Also, our favorite bad accent.
Hey guys, Famous here. Have you come for healing?
No, I've come for a chinwag. Knuckles the Echidna Googling what is a chinwag.
This castle was built by the roaches back when they roamed freely around Bulgaria. It still feels like it was yesterday when they were scurrying around the land trying to get stuff together. I tell you, the sapling brought a lot of blessings, but also curses to them. Don't make the same mistake.
No promises. A Psycorp, surely. Okay, I had a feeling you might be a battle, so, it's still early days here, so we may as well leave the battle in just to get some flavor. Also, odds are high we're going to level up from this battle anyway, so there's that also to keep in mind. It's like in Mind, but it's more of a pile. It's the pile of. You touch the pile of. You feel everything. Also, they can charge, which is preferable because this means that you're not paralyzing me. I should just... I should. We're about to level up, so... You have defense. I'm going to ignore that defense and make you die. It really looks like your shell is about to crack, and it's not cracking. So I don't know if that's a thing that can happen. I don't think it can. Anyway, perish. And with that, we have an upwards level, by which I mean we're ranking up. Do we get any bonus prizes? Not for this level, I don't think. Yeah, okay, so, as previously stated, I'm gonna funnel stuff into medal points for the time being. It would be helpful to have more HP. I'm gonna throw that out there. If you're playing for your first time, okay, maybe consider HP for this dungeon for things we have yet to see. But for my purposes, I'm still just gonna look at medal points. Anyway, we have another new friend. And you appear to be ice type, so perhaps you are also weak to concussive blasts. A haunted cloth. Shoot, dude, it sure is.
Get off me! Jeez, this thing's got issues. We can't let it get too close, so I'd best get smacking.
Ah, yes, I'd quite forgotten. They can sort of wrap around you and be suffocative. Is that a word? It sends you to the Royal County of Suffolk. Is Suffolk a royal county, or is it just a regular county? Is there a difference? Anyway, as you can see, it's ice, so yes, it's weak to such things. And I'm not sure to what extent Leaf would be particularly useful here, because I don't think using ice on an ice enemy heals it, but I don't want to take that chance. And there you go. It sucks you up like some sort of fabricy Iron Maiden and sponges your health, and it's just not a fun time for anyone involved, so button mash to get to safety. And with that, you should probably no longer be alive. Huzzah! As you can infer, this being a new area, we're gonna get decent XP from fighting our foes. So, do that. End of thought. And here we have, now, is this one of those things where only one can be active at any given time? I'm not sure. Okay, we accidentally solved the puzzle, everything's cool and good. I'm still holding down the button. So we missed a text box, and I didn't even get the privilege of... Really? You're going to do the distance thing? There we go. Right, now that we're free of the cage, there's an arrow worm. I don't like you. Oh, jolly beef. Jolly beef. Well, might as well have Leaf in the front, since you're going to be the most effective helper here. Get out of the ground. There's not much else to say here. It's enemies we've seen before, so I guess this should probably be the last battle I leave in for the time being, until we see new enemies anyway. But yes, as I was trying to get at, I can never get the timing right for that. Now that we've ranked up, fighting bandits is no longer as XP lucrative as it previously was. So, if you're looking for levels, here is the place to find them, and no longer amongst the bandits. Although, they do still give decent berries, so if you're hankering for some cash money, then there is that to consider, but how many times have I said that in this episode? Anyway, surprise, progression. That was a terrible way of wording that, but you get what I mean. Anyway, I feel like we're already getting our money's worth with the victory buzz badge, and look at all that cash shmoney. And yes, it does seem to be only one of these Fleeply Boodles can be active at any given time. You know the Fleeply Boodles, that's absolutely the correct word for them. You can sort of also tell by the Majora's Mask 3D sparklies that you can see where these invisible platforms are likely to appear. Yo, other platform, are you gonna come back anytime soon? I know you exist. Come back. Where do I jump onto you from? Perhaps here, perhaps there, perhaps everywhere. What do you mean I missed? Okay, there we go. Now, Ah, we need to use the power of ice to get a... I thought maybe we could bury into the platform. You can already see why that would be a terrible idea. Oh, ice. So we turn it off, and then we turn it on again, and then we jump around, jump up, and get down. And apparently that's it in this room, so we may as well just jump into the abyss and void out back to the... Oh, I thought maybe you'd take me back to the start of the room. How dare you penalize me for trying to be efficient? Lily the Pink. Medicinal compound. Efficacious in every case. Hey, Macarena. Anyway, we got what we came for in here, which was a key. You know, in case you forgot, the whole reason we came in here was to pick up a key, which we now have, so we can bounce. Yes, the key gives us the ability to bounce. Now, what I mean is, we can leave the room, and everything's good now. And I'm very tempted to go and heal right away, but... Monsters Elmo dry humping a wolf moment. In case you forgot that was a thing that happened. Now, what have we here? Warning, high humidity area. Regular maintenance of cryocrystal must not be neglected. Clearly it's a hint. Can we go in here? We can, and we get the Frostbite Medal. Huh. That's interesting, but I'm not inclined to use that because if I'm understanding it correctly, the whole sort of focus is you'd have to sort of pre-predict who you're putting it on, expecting them to get frozen, and then countering accordingly. Anyway, the puzzle here, by the way, is it's one of those block-pushing puzzles, except you can't actually see where the stops are until the block is right up against them, which is a cool and fun little idea. Now, I think I'm having a moment here. I think what it is going to be down, and then left, and then up, and then left, and then down, and then right, and then up. Because, don't worry, I've watched my fair share of other Let's Players in my time. I know how frustrating it is to watch someone get to a block puzzle and then just bumble around when you, the viewer, can clearly see what the solution is. So I'm going to try to do my darndest to be good at being better at not being terrible. Does that make sense? Yeah, you know what I mean anyway. Can we dig into this? Oh, we can't. I thought maybe we could, but... So we could dig into solid brick, but not a pile of soft sand. Yeah, that makes sense. Anyway, we got a key, we could put the key into the wall, and then the wall becomes a door. I mean, if you think about it, doors are just walls you can turn off. Now then, we're having a very Paper Mario moment here, so if I do... I meant to use V there. I don't trust those statues, but... Ah, that's why. They have heads. We don't trust the heads in this part of the country. But hey, we have a new flavor of enemy. And it's a curious one because it floats. So we're in a little bit of danger trouble times. It's a warden.
Oof, what a convincing disguise. We really must be on guard here. My horn will be ready to strike when it is brought back into the ground.
So, yep, despite how it appears, it is susceptible to being brought earthwards. But maybe focus on attacking with Leaf when they're in their sand form, because they're ground type, and therefore they're quad weak to the bread type, by which I mean they're weak to ice. And they just kind of charge at you. Cool. Speaking of cool, I should probably lead with Leaf because, you know, whichever bug is in the front does more damage. Not that it matters now the battle's over, but, you know, just something to consider because there's another statue in here that is probably going to do the same thing. So, fine. I will freeze you and make you sneeze, and then I will say, have at you, and it's like, have at you, but sneezy. Huzzah, I can also bonk the ice cube. Okay, that was meant to be a double switchy to have Leaf be in charge, but now I'll have to turn relay the extra turn to Leaf. Bug politics. It wasn't fun in the last episode, and it's not fun now. Now, will this be enough to one-cycle it? One would hope. It's looking likely if I don't mess up the action command. Yeah, I think we're good. There you go. Wardens are not an issue or a problem or a sandwich. They are many things, but they are none of the previously mentioned things. Right. Now then, if this puzzle is what I think it is, then we just need to sort of have the boomerang there, knowing that when we release it, it'll fly back past the point that we threw it from and smack the crystal on the way past, and then change the settings over. There might be an easier way of doing that, but I'm just doing the way that I know works. Oh, a fun little thing that happened in that battle. The Haunted Cloth used a different attack, which is just button mash, button mash, button... But fill up the gauge by mashing the Z key, or whatever your regional equivalent is. And you'll still take 1 damage if you have no defense, but yeah, it's a hit-all situation. And hey! Just hey, really. Now, is this just... Can I be underneath? Because this feels like... Okay, we can go underneath. We can be the spaghetti underneath. And I have become quite the spaghetti aficionado since last we checked in regarding my spaghetti situation. I bought so much spaghetti yesterday because it's become my main meal. I've become good. I've gone from 0 to professional when it comes to spaghetti. I keep accidentally freezing them when I just want to stun them for the sake of a battle. Okay, you are a battle. Good. Anyway, in case it wasn't immediately apparent, this is sort of a secret question mark room. It's completely optional. It's just to reward players who are particularly observant who notice that there's a gap in the wall there that you can go into and get a free item from. Except the item was a crystal berry. Anyway, so in this particular puzzle, rather than going to the source of the rolling rocks for which we're watching, just need to flip that button and surprise, it gives a path for the boulders to continue rolling as well, and I believe that spring just takes you back, so, you know, in case you accidentally screw yourself by flipping this switch here, which I think I've just done, because, as you can see, there's a pile of rocks here, which we can't do anything about, so we'll need to boink on back. You're going too fast! We got squosh! That's what happens when you get squished. I did that on purpose just to showcase what happens when you get squished, clearly. Right, you're over here now, so we can flip that switch, carry on the path, and you can boulder your way through, and we can get to our destination. Oh, it's a wall of spikes. How yummy. Did you really just lose interest in us that easily? Nothing much to report from that battle other than there were 2 wardens and one of them was the ice flavor. Don't worry, we'll see plenty more of them before this dungeon's out, so you're not missing anything by me. Oh, hi! Oh is a state in America. And speaking of Ohio, funnily enough, do y'all remember Yuki, formerly Yukiola 5? I've done versuses with him in the past. Well, I would say recently, but actually, his videos on the subject have been on my watch later list for like a year at this point. He went to Thailand and like, I'm so proud of him going to experience other cultures because the Yuki that I used to know was not mature enough to be interested in other cultures, so he's grown as a person. We love to see it. Shout out if you're watching, by the way. Anyway, now that we're here, we can flip this switch, and we have an elevator that elevates, or in this case, de-elevates, or delegates, perhaps. We don't have to do that room to get back up through here anymore. Now, we're in a good position to ask Phoenix for a bit of healing here, because look at all the money we're getting from these battles, and we are most of the way to yet another rank up, but not enough for my liking. Now, how do we cross the rest of this room? Can I perhaps make you be freezable? I actually don't remember the puzzle here, unless... Is it a Hooktail Castle moment where we go out the window? Because if so, yes, indeed it is. Good thing I've played Paper Mario before. And just recently, as of the time of recording, they've announced they're going to do an HD remaster of the 1000-Year Door, which, truth be told, I have mixed feelings about because, like, I find the logo to be ugly, but maybe it's good. Ahem. But maybe that's just because I find it to be too evocative of the art direction they've taken with the later installments in the series. Anyway, I want to have Leaf in the lead here with the 2 turns. I want him to be the Gleck with the butter, which I can't tell if that's like a genuine phenomenon as memes go, or if that's just insular to one specific Discord server to which I am vaguely ancillary with my presence. Just the idea of a Glaceon with a pat of butter on its head, captioned Gleck with the butter. I don't get it, but it lives in my head rent-free. Anyway, this should only take 1 more round, maybe? 2, then 3, yeah, no. I suppose it doesn't matter if we turn relay or not. It's gonna take a second turn unless I do this, perhaps? Because by winning the battle, we're going to be refunded the TP I've used anyway, so there we go. Another excuse for me to be a bit more splurgracious with my use of limited resources. Okay, what's up the stairs? Surprise, it's more dungeon. How does this puzzle work? Because I remember this is a puzzle and it works. First we felt cold at the tips of our hands before it turned to drops sinking in the sand. Then we felt cold at our feet before locking the way. So that's a puzzle. Ah. Okay. You can see on the floor, which I sort of mentally glossed over previously, but there's a whole sort of glyph here of a creature. And of course it's from the perspective of the roaches, so it's the roaches, and just to double check. Hands first, and then feet. And specifically, note the story they've told us here. You know, not just, oh, they felt cold and then they felt cold somewhere else, but specifically, they felt cold in one location, and then it melted, and then they felt cold in a different location. Now, I think they stay frozen, if not permanently, then at the very least for longer, when they're in cold places. So there you go, that's one part of the puzzle. Now we just need to wait for these guys to unfreeze, which somehow makes them lighter. And actually, you know what? I could fight this, but it's been a hot minute. I don't think I've ever actually shown how running away from battle works here, so we flee and then ZX down, left, AZ. The longer you take, the less you make, by which I mean the more berries you lose. So, you know, have a care with don't just flee willy and or nilly. Stay frozen, please, thank you. Excuse you. Please? Please? Okay, fine, I'll put you on the other foot. Surprise, no, you're going to go on the foot I designated for you and you can deal with it. Now, I feel like, given the wording of the puzzle here, is this going to re-lock the door for the sake of getting us the thing? There we go. Ah, right, yeah, okay. I thought, hang on a minute, how are we going to get up there? By getting up there. It's honestly not that hard. It ain't that deep. And so, lo and behold, we have the key. And surprisingly, those statues didn't come to life and attack us, so we can just move on with our lives. And you're a dastardly creature. Fun little thing that happened in that battle. Oh, first of all, we got magic ice. This is an important ingredient. We're going to need quite a bit of that going forward, so do try to hoard it. But yes, there were 2 wardens in that battle. I used frigid coffin because I can do that for free now because we get it refunded at the end of the battle, but it turned a ground or sand warden into an ice warden, which is interesting to behold. And I don't remember if, oh, more magic ice, cool and good, literally, if they can change types by their own free will during the battle. Also, that haunted cloth did like a sort of spinning top attack against us in that battle, so I could have shown that and I chose not to. Don't worry, we will see more of them later on. Like, which sounds crazy to behold, but anyway, I'm contemplating, should we continue? Because we're going to need another key to go further. We do actually have that key, come to think of it, so that rather begs the question, what's through here then? Presumably, we will need another key or something, and I feel like I could afford to be a little bit, oh, multiple keys. And also a button flippy, which is another shortcut, so we can go back and heal should we so choose, but I am literally 1 battle away from leveling up again, so we may as well hold on to our horses.
Yikes, I can't tell what this is at all.
It seems to be some sort of depiction of the everlasting sapling. Even the artifacts are there.
We're impressed, Kabu. This drawing's quality hasn't aged well at all.
We've got to bring Neo back sometime. He'd love this.
There you go, it's a thing for the thing. An entry for the logbook. Now, this, either we need a different key for the door out there, or you're gonna bone yourself some ways by misusing keys? I'm not sure. Oh, a frosty woo-woo puzzle. I have no issues with what I just said. Okay, we need to get need to get this ice block over here into that nook over there. So let's give this an honest attempt. Now, I'm sort of already seeing kind of a path here. So if we do like that, maybe. Now, I feel like if it slides outside of this radius, is that going to cause it to spontaneously melt? Well, turning off the ice doesn't make it melt, so... Oh! Turning off the ice allows us to send it to different placeways. Wow. You really just... You really are just there, right? Okay, it does diffuse after a time. Good to know. And it doesn't move when not in ice, so this puzzle isn't as trampulous as I previously worried. Okay. In that case, what if I just went like soap? It's like so, but cleaner. Now, what's the next step? Incidentally, there is a voice in my head. On nights where I'm not... Ooh, what do we have over here? I just noticed. Cold salad. Yummy, yummy. We don't have room for it, because of course we don't. Frustration, but the seed can go. It was just clogging up space anyway. Now, I believe you can make your own cold salad. Well, by making a salad and putting it in the fridge. But, I mean, in Bug Fables the Everlasting Sapling, you can make a cold salad by, I believe, cooking a leaf, a crispy, crunchy leaf with some magic ice. Combine the two, you've got a cold salad. You know, if you desire the crunch, if you want to munch a crispity crunch when you're living in the gutter with Grandma, well, when Coach puts you in, you gotta go for the win. Y2K turned out alright. Let's get splounced. A big ancient key, which is probably the key we needed.
Oh no, it's an ambush!
I probably should have healed before this, but hey diddly ho, it's just 3 walnuts, we'll live. So, first of all, V, take them down Gangnam style. I should have put Leaf in the front, but I didn't. Oh well, we've learned for the next turn. Like, I don't think we're at that much of a risk, because it's just 3 wardens. It's 1 cornetto. What could possibly go bad? As long as you're not terrible with your timings. Anyway, Leaf, go in the front. V, knock them out of the space. Good. And then... I want to turn relay to V to knock another one down, so... Wait, no, hang on. Yeah, okay. My plan wouldn't have worked anyway, we're fine. In that case, Leaf attack this one, so that there's no risk of it attacking us in the next turn, and then... Kabu, throw a pebble, because we're too poor to afford anything bigger than that. I mean, I think we could equip the Boulder Toss medal now, but I want to save up the medal points for a future reference. So, bonk you out of the sky, then turn relay so that you can bonk the other one out of the sky, and then do some sort of attack that hits both, per apple tree. Now, Icefall should hit both, and that's the only AoE attack that we have, so... Not quite what I was hoping for, but we'll live. And as you can see, we can change the flavor of the enemy. I should put Cubbo in front, because now you're weak to the horn! The horns, darling! And then hit you with V. At this point, I'm not even commentating, I'm just reading out my strategy from the McNugget inside my brain. My brain is a McNugget. I've never actually... If I have ever had McDonald's chicken nuggets in my life, it's been a hot few years. Like, I will have been a child in the single-digit ages, so it's been almost 30 years at this point since I've had a McDonald's nugget. I seem to recall them being okay. Speaking of okay, we're okay! We get to rank up and, once again, I should know better. I should give us HP or TP, but honestly, we're doing fine in both areas, so more medal points. And Needle Pincer. That might be useful going forwards. Anyway, that wasn't so bad. So I'll just head us back to the save point, and I honestly thought this might be like a bonus treasure room because it's a slightly difficult puzzle, but nope, this was required the whole damn time, so... Anyway, will continue to be Tessellating Hexagons, and in the next episode, we'll delve into the deepest depths of the sandcastle, which is also at its highest heights, coincidentally enough, and, well, presumably we'll get the artifact with no further insurrection, which is definitely a word I know how to use. See you then! For that.